When I was coming to YouTube, I wasn't coming to YouTube because I was coming for people to start giving me money. But trust me, when I started my channel, the kind of love I received on the street of YouTube, I have never received it all my life. Hey guys, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to another beautiful video. So in today's video, I'm going to be gisting you guys a very interesting story about my life that I didn't get to bring on the streets of YouTube. Okay, I didn't get to gist you guys before the whole marriage thing happened. Okay, I actually had plans of sharing it when I started the widowhood series, but one thing led to the other and a lot of things started happening. Our business started. I needed to limit some content that I was creating then, and before you know it, pregnancy set in. So I didn't get to gist you guys this beautiful part of my life, but I think it's time for me to share with you guys how the whole thing started. This is like me bearing it all, telling you guys about every single thing that happened in my life and how I navigated through the whole thing, you know, the businesses I did and how I was able to get back on my feet again, especially how I was able to move my children out from the village to Oka and before I got married again. So if this is the kind of video you want to watch, just get a glass of wine, okay? Sit back, or you can actually get your popcorn. Sit down, relax, and enjoy, because it's going to be a long video because the story is very long. But if I'm able to cut the whole thing short and share it as one video, fine. If not, please pardon me. It is definitely going to have a part 2, which I'm not sure of yet, okay? So the whole thing started in 2015 when I moved down to the east. After I lost my husband, I moved down to the village. I remember I shared with you guys the part when I was not able to pay rent in Lagos or keep up with Lagos lifestyle, okay? Like, cost of living was expensive in Lagos, but finally I ended up coming back to the village. So what happened was that when I came back, I joined my mom in her farming. We farmed for a few months and I saw it that me joining my mom in farming, then we weren't getting so much from the farm work, okay? And I was like, at the end of it all, after so much hard work, you see little or nothing. But one beautiful part of the fact that we were farming then was that, I mean, we get to eat very well in the house. Like we don't lack food because 80% of what we eat, we get it from the farm, right? You guys know how farming is because my mom is a multi-purpose farmer. She farms vegetables and a lot of other things, okay? So I was helping her with the farm work. Like I'm going to be attaching pictures of some of these things, the ones I'm able to find, because I had to go through my Google photos to begin to search out the ones I backed up. You guys know that we're in Nigeria and data is expensive, so we don't get to back up so much, coupled with then that life was dealing with me, so I didn't get to back up so much. Any part I talk about, if there's any picture that's related to it, I will attach it on the screen, so you may not be seeing my beautiful face all through, right? Anyways, back to the video. So when I discovered that farming was not just all we needed at that point, I decided to make another move. So I reached out to my school mother to ask her if she can help me get any job or anything at all. And she has seen my condition severally because she has actually given us things, dashed us things, right, at that point. So she introduced me into a business. I shared here on the channel that I said I was not able to do that, okay? I wasn't able to do that kind of a business, and I think I have a story about it on the channel here. If you scroll down, you're going to see the story. When I rejected the offer she gave me and returned back to the village again to join my mom, there's this girl in my family house where we are currently staying. So I reached out to her. She stays at Nnewi, to ask if she can help me get a job anywhere. But finally, the girl asked me to join her at Nnewi, which I did. I joined her in her house. She was living in a one-room face me and face you apartment. So I joined her and we started staying. And then let me not forget that there is this boss that my husband's boss that I came back with from Lagos, okay? The boss was packed in my family house doing nothing, like, because he has little faults that we needed money to fix for it to start working again. I didn't have money to fix the boss. So I just left the boss there. and we were just in the compound there. You guys can see Sammy snapped picture with the boss. He was, because he knows this is our boss, okay? He was so so addicted to the boss, and he goes all around the boss all the time. So when I moved and joined that lady at Nnewi, I started working at a phone shop, like where they're selling phone at Nnewi there. I think Cosmotel is the name of the shop. Like, I was working as a sales girl. Then I was earning 7,000. And trust me, you guys, that 7K was like 700,000 to me. Trust me, that money was so huge. I was so grateful to that girl for at least giving me accommodation and harboring me, you know, free of charge. I wasn't paying her any money. Although I promised her that when I make money, because she knows the story of my life, I promised her that when I was able to save a lot of money, I will support her with the rent and all of that. And because I usually come back home every weekend to come and see my children and still give my mom money for their upkeep and all of that, the money I was saving, imagine earning 7,000, I will feed, clothe, and every other thing. And at the end of the day, I was able to save, come back every weekend with everything on top of that 7K. So I was not able to save so much, but I was actually saving. And as God may have it, I raised little money and fixed that our boss, right? So when I fixed that our boss, the boss started working. And unfortunately for me, when the boss started working, I didn't have so much money again on my hand. The girl lost her job where she was working. She didn't have a job at that point. Her house rent expired, and we both became stranded at that point, okay? To the point that she had to return back to the village. But me, because my boss was already in Nnewi working, like working from, if you know Nnewi too well, from St. Mary's, Nnewi to OKEKE, down flyover, and then return back again. That's the route that the boss was plying then. As at when this thing was happening, I met a very good lady that I usually go to her shop to fix my hair. Her name is Chichi. She happened to be the lady that that did my makeup during my wedding, okay? We became very close. I shared my life with her. This lady encouraged me and told me that, come on, you can't just fold your hands and stay like this, okay? Life has to go on. So she didn't know that I had accommodation problem at that point. I just begged her every day my boss finished going to work, let me just park it in her compound, because I didn't have anywhere for the bus to be parked at that point. I used to park it at the church. But later, one thing led to the other. I stopped parking it at the church there, okay? So I begged her, and she begged her mom on my behalf, and her mother accepted. So what I usually do is, today I will sleep at the church. Some days I will sleep in her house, in the girl's house, because she had a separate room in their own house. That's what I was doing. I was just shuttling the whole thing. So I was trying to cover up gradually. I didn't open up to her that, see, I have accommodation problem, because somebody that already give me a space to be parking my bus, I didn't see need again. I appreciated it so much. I didn't want to bother her so much. I didn't tell her. So all these things were happening between February down to September, right? So it happened to be that we had a program in church that year, and we needed to share flyers and all of that. And that day I was sharing flyer. That was the very first day I met my husband. Like, I saw him one-on-one. That was in 2015, right? That same year that I moved down from Lagos to the east. I met him because he was where he was drinking with his friends. I came to share flyer, and after that, somebody approached me and was like, what's up, this one, that one, that one. Anyways, it didn't work out at that initial stage. We parted ways, and everybody went their separate ways. We weren't talking because I wasn't giving attention. I wasn't paying attention to what he wanted at that point, right? So as time goes on, we became too close. So I had to open up to her that, see what I'm passing through. I don't have a place to sleep. Sometimes that I come here to sleep is because I don't have a place to lay my head. So the thing touched her, because she has this beautiful spirit. So the thing really touched her, and she was like, let me talk to my mom so that at least we can give you accommodation. You can be staying here with us, because I usually help her in her salon too, right? I remember the very first time she did my makeup, like the very first time I did a fine makeup, okay? So as you people can see the picture I attached on the screen, a very beautiful makeup. I so much admired myself that day. I snapped plenty of pictures. Anyways, she talked to the mother. The mother gave me accommodation in their house. I so much appreciated it, you guys. Hey, I was so happy. My boss would go to work, come back, and park there. All of a sudden, this driver started being corny. He was no longer straightforward. He would go to work and tell me, I didn't go to work. This one happened. Something spoiled. So when I discovered that he was beginning to lie to me, I told him, I think it's time for me to join you in this business, because then I wasn't working anymore, right? I've raised money from my sales girl business. Within a few months, I fixed my boss. And the money I was getting from the boss, the return was bigger than what I was earning as salary then. So I started to give that business, that boss business, a very good attention. That was why I quit the job. And then again, the job does not allow me to like come back all the time to see my children, because see, Sammy was still very small then. Sammy was barely 1 year plus. Hi! What did I do to NEPA God? So you guys, pardon the noise, please. I'm begging. I'm just begging. Generator is on downstairs and there is nothing I can do. This is Nigeria. NEPA took their light and I must film this video today. So I started doing conductor in my bus with the driver, and trust me, I saw the changes, because the money he was giving me, see, you guys, all these drivers, none of them is straightforward. They dealt with me. Do you know how many times I changed driver? Before finally that particular one, I was like, we die here. I'll be doing conductor in this bus. So on that fateful day, we went to work. Coming back, I don't know how we carried this troublesome woman, this wahala woman that we carried in the bus, and she just faced me, as in she was just telling me all manner of things, insulting me and all of that. Then trust me, you guys, my problem then was not any human being. My problem was just to make money and take care of my children. I'm telling you the truth. So I didn't answer her. I ignored her completely. There was this man sitting in the front of the bus, and the man was trying to calm the woman down and all of that. So later my driver got angry when the woman started, insulting me and raining abuses on me. My driver got angry and was like, do you even know that this woman you're insulting, that you think she's a conductor, he's the owner of this bus, right? And the man that, like, that man sitting in the front turned and was like, really? You mean this woman is the owner of this bus and she's this calm? She didn't even retaliate and all of that. Men, and man retaliates, problem my brother woman. She was the least of my problem at that point. People get energy then, they do gra. So I completely ignored her. And then she got to her bus stop, came down. Every other person came down. That was, we loaded from Onitsha to Nnewi, and that was at St. Mary's. And this man sitting in the front approached me and gave me his card and was like, oh, you're not supposed to be a conductor. A fine woman like me. Let me show you guys the picture of when I was doing this conductor. Can you guys see how I was looking? With my low-cut, rugged hairstyle, like, I needed to cut my hair. I don't look like a conductor, confirm. Let me look like a conductor. So when the man gave me his card, I was like, he's one of them, because you see them on a daily basis. All they want is to come and take advantage of you. Trust me. If you're a single mom or you're a widow or anyhow, like, you find yourself in a situation where you are handicapped at that point. I know that there are good people out there. Of course, there are good men, but trust me, like, some of them that come, they just come because they want to use that situation you are in to take advantage of you. Back to what I was gisting you guys. I continued with the conductor job, and I was still living free of charge in that my friend's house. I go every day, come back, park the bus in their compound, and come out to her salon. We gist. Later, we hang out together, do our thing, and everybody, we come back together and sleep. So I was still working full time as a conductor in my bus, hitting my chest. I was so proud of the business, like, because the bus is mine, okay? And then I'm the conductor. It doesn't matter, and I'm making the money. You guys, guess what happened? I relaxed and thought everything was fine. I came back to the village, arranged with my mom, and my children started school in, a nearby government school around us, where they trek every day. They use leg to go every day. Imagine Sammy at his age, very little. You guys already saw. Can you guys see how he was looking? He was very little, but he still goes to school, okay? And that public school was, it was just like free. Not be say they charged money. Just buy broom, buy tissue, buy this, buy that, and your child is in school. Buy uniform, and that's it. not like there's something serious they are teaching him. It's just a government school around the house. So when I thought everything was already settled, you guys, the bus engine had issues, and that was the beginning of another problem for me. I give God all the glory because I am now sharing this story as just a story. But when these things were happening, trust me, you guys, my life almost shattered when that bus engine had issues. There was no way for me to get money. Although my friend suggested I borrow money from one meeting people like that then in Nnewi, I should borrow money from them and then repair the bus, and when the bus starts working I should save up and, you know, pay back the money gradually. But I thought about it. What if this bus now, after repairing it, it still develop another fault? How am I supposed to pay? You know, I thought about a lot of things, balanced my life, and I decided to just forget about the bus. So the mother complained that I can't keep the bus in their compound since it already has engine problem, that I need to take it out of the compound. Okay, so I can understand. She already helped me so much, trust me, you guys. Then luckily for me, because I'll say luckily, the brother of that my friend, his brother he's a football lover, he watches football. So one fateful Sunday, he was just like, me and my friend, we should just get ready, let's go to the pitch and watch match. You guys, luckily for me, I got there, and guess who I met again? I met my husband again. This thing I'm telling you guys is happening in early 2016. I met with this man again, and I was like, ha, see wala. He sent his boy to come and call me. I already shared that part of the story in the video of how we met. Please, if you want to catch up with that part, go to that video, because I don't want this video to be too long, please. So we started talking gradually, and before you know it, it was not even me, it was that my friend, I mean this my friend that did my makeup during my white wedding, that was staying in their house. It was even that my friend that told my husband, because he now comes to see me in their salon and goes back, okay? And small, you know, we started talking and all of that. It was that my friend that told him that, okay, see, this lady, this is her plight, she is living in our house and all of that, and she had a problem with her boss. Right, this is her boss, she has a problem with it, and this uncle and this uncle was working for Ifeanyi then. He was playing FC Ifeanyi, that's Anambra Warriors then. And then, you know, now he started trying to tell me one or two things that I need to do for him to be able to give me the money. I refused. Let me not lie, I refused. You know when they say somebody refused bluntly, I refused bluntly. This thing I'm telling you guys actually caused problem between me and that my friend, to the point that during my wedding here, just during my wedding here, we were gisting about it. When she was doing my makeup, we gisted about it. She was telling me, now see you are doing makeup, I remember how you were doing strong head then. Anyways, that one aside, the young man saw it again that I was not giving him attention. He left and moved on with his life. But we still talk occasionally once in a while. Sometimes he will call me and say, where are you? I'll say, I'm at the church. He will come there, he will gist, he will see me. If he's on midweek service, he will join me and do midweek service and go back. If he's on a you know, sanctuary keeping day, he will just come. You know, he was, before you know it, he started coming around me, let me not lie. But still, we went dating and nothing serious was actually going on between us. We don't hang out, we don't go out. Although he proposed severally for us to go out, but I turned it down, right? So I saw it that, okay, fine, I'm not going to continue like this. Trust me, you guys, I'm not going to continue like this. And I decided to go into bitter leaf business. There is this community, this town called Nemo. I don't know if anybody knows about it. It's a neighboring town to Enugu. And then if you're coming from Nnewi, you pass there. There's a river close to that place. So I went inside the market and I did survey. I mean, I went inside Nnewi and I did my survey. And I discovered that, you know, bitter leaf is a good business then. I decided to go there. If I go to that river where women are washing bitter leaf, I'll buy from them, and then I come and sell in bulk to the women that are inside the market. I started the business with the little savings I had then, and I started doing it. It started moving. I was doing it every Nnewi. I'll go early in the morning, like as early as possible. I'll go and buy, I'll sell. Then afonobi, this afonobi, very early in the morning I'll go and come and buy. And especially that mbamili, there's this onubana mbamili, there's this bitter leaf that they call mbamili, like it's always fresh. It's the freshest onubu ever, right? It's very, very soft. So I'll go and buy it, come and sell, and you know, make my small gains. And I was so happy. The business was actually helping me. I was happy. And before you know it, I started, you know, getting acquainted with my husband. This thing was happening, say, in late 2016 and all of that, okay? I started getting acquainted with my husband, and that was how I opened up to him, told him about my children, told him about every single thing about my life, and he picked interest in me. And you know, me, I was seeing him then as a friend, okay? But then I never knew that this man had plans on the ground. Trust me, he was entering me on Abami steady. Once in a while he will ask me, what of your children and all of that. He will just send me money, give them. Once in a while he will ask me, what about their provisions? He will send me money to give them. But I never discussed with him about their education or anything. Although if he asks me, I usually tell him they are in school. And I ended it because then I was being careful about what to tell anybody about my life because of past experiences I had, okay? And how I was treated by people that should be supportive as at when I was down, okay? So the bitter leaf business was going, and later my husband asked me again about the bus. I told him that, look at the condition of the bus. I moved it back again to my family house. They had to tow it back again to my family house because I can't leave it there. So he now said, okay, fine, why not bring it back? Let me give you money to fix the engine. I was so happy, guys. And that was how this man gave me whooping money, plenty money. And immediately I called a pastor friend of mine that was into bus business too. He was into this type of bus business, right? I called him and he helped me, linked me up with somebody, and I went to Mbukobosi and bought the engine. They changed, worked everything, and the bus became good. So that my pastor friend was like, instead of you to continue doing conductor in this bus, why not give it to somebody as on hire purchase? Like the person will drive the bus, return back a certain amount of money, okay, that is a little bit higher than the rate of the bus in the market. I don't need to work anything on the bus. If the bus spoil and the person sabi everything, I'll just come on my hand. My own is that every month I receive so amount, or every week I receive so amount. It was a nice idea and I accepted it. So luckily for me, the guy found a man, the pastor found a man that actually came to carry the bus from my house. Because of that singular act, okay, that thing that my husband did for me, I began to like him. I began to see him as a nice person and all of that. When all this was going on, it's rare for you to see a young man helping you, okay, without trying to, you guys know what I'm talking about. So it's rare to see a young guy helping you, spending his money on you without, man, you need to settle him in one way or the other, either in cash or in kind, whichever way. But he wasn't that so much in a hurry. That was what actually got me attracted to him. So I began to open up gradually to him. That was in late 2016. I started telling him about my life and all of that. And I was still living in a free apartment. So in 2017, he offered that I should move out of my friend's house and get an apartment. I mean, my husband. And he actually gave me money. He said I should start looking for a house. That my friend that was staying in the house was the one that helped me to get a one-room apartment at Nnewi where I was living. And I gradually, you know, started buying things, stove, gas, all those things, bed, foam, you know, small things. And when it was time for my husband to leave Nnewi, like, he had a call up because there was a tournament they played in that, I think in that 2016 or early 2017, there was a tournament they played, and he was the one that scored the winning goal that got them that cup. I think it's Premier League cup or something. And the man he was working for applauded him in such a way that, like, the thing at that particular win alone announced him, and he had a call up to come and play at the national camp at Abuja. So when it was time for him to leave Nnewi and go to Abuja, already then I already got an apartment, a one-room apartment in Nnewi, and I was still doing this my bitter leaf business, and the boss was also with the pastor at Onitsha making money for me. That was in early 2017. So when he was about to leave, this man brought his television that he was using in their camp, because they usually have a camp. Any club they are playing, they have a camp where they camp. This man brought his television, his everything that he was using in that camp. He brought it and gifted everything to me. And trust me, that was it for me. That was it for me. And before you know it, gradually we started, one thing started leading to the other. The love started coming, the feeling started coming back small. And when he left to Abuja, we talk always. He would always call me to know what's up with my children's upkeep. He will always send me money. He will always support me. He will always, he was just into me. Trust me, he was just into me, supporting me in any little way he could. He was doing everything to make sure I was okay. And trust me, all these things were happening. He had not met with Danny and Sammy for the very first time. Like, he has not seen them one-on-one like this. All these things were happening, but he has never seen them with his eyes. So that trip that he went to at Abuja took him outside the country to go and play for a while, okay? I thought life was now getting better and sweeter. Guess what happened? The boss developed a fault, started giving issues, and I told the pastor, please, I'm no longer interested in fact, anything about this, but just sell it. Give me the money. Let me use the money and do something important with my life, okay? So he promised to sell the bus. He has a car stand where he usually sells buses for people, like second-hand buses. So he put the bus there. The pastor later called me and said, since this bus has been here for months and nobody is buying it because it's an old bus, let me just buy it from you at 300,000, okay? And then give you the money for you to start up something. But before then, you need to learn something that you want to start up. You need to learn a trade or a business, something you know that by the time I raise the money for you to give you, you'll be able to invest that money into something you have learned already. That was how we discussed it. And then life became tough because already I lost contact with my husband when he traveled, and life became tough again. My rent where I was living at Nnewi then was fast approaching to expire because I paid for that rent, I think late 2016, and we're talking about 2017 here. I paid for, I needed to renew the rent and all of that. Don't forget I have 2 children I was catering for, and I have a family I needed to support at all time. So, and I still have myself to take care of, okay? So when all these things were happening, the pastor asked me, what do you have passion for? I told him I have passion for, I wanted to be a nurse, right? And life didn't give me the opportunity to become one. He said, why not go, into medicine, like go and learn in a pharmacy how they sell medicine, how they sell, drugs and all of that. And they usually give certificates that will back you up to start up a medicine store, and possibly a pharmacy if you have someone that will back you up with a certificate. I was like, wow. So that was when I remembered that the man that gave me a card when I was a conductor owned a pharmacy, right? And I decided to place a call across to the man. So within this period that I lost contact with my husband, trust me, things were too difficult for me that I had to resort to social media begging, okay? I've shared the story on my channel, please. I may not tell you all how it all started. You can catch up with that story on my channel, okay? So I resort to social media begging, and that was how I met this lady, Mercy Carlo. She put up this contest and said any widow that will post herself with her children, the person will win 20,000 and all of that. Wow! I rushed back home, snapped picture with Danny and Sammy, and we started competing. People loved us on Facebook because I was very active on Facebook then, and that was how Me and my children, we won that contest. And that was how I won this 20,000 naira. Hey, that money went a long way in my life. I cannot thank Mercy enough. So later, after I won that contest, you still see me coming to comment section of her post to come and type, I need help, support me and all of that. So she contacted me and was like, Sandra, you can do better than this. Trust me, you can do better than this. I see you as someone that has potential to do better than what you're doing now. So can I introduce you to a business? I told her, why not? She introduced me to network marketing, a company called Happy World Mealgate. If you remember, if you Google it, you know about them. They give foodstuffs. When you rank up, when you invite people into the platform, you rank up and they give foodstuffs. So I joined this platform and I drove it with passion. Unfortunately for me, I joined late. The company already existed for about 2-3 years before I joined. And then that one closed up. Mercy started joined another because she was a full-time network marketer. So she joined another one and still contacted me. It was when she joined that second one, Food for All Nations, I drove that business with all my life. Trust me, you guys. I drove that business with all my life. So I already joined that Food for All Nation. I was doing it gradually with all my passion and everything. And I started making small money because they pay every week. You can cash out your money. When you refer somebody, they pay you a bonus. You can cash out the bonus and the money will enter your account and that's it. So I started referring every single person I know into the platform. And that was how I was able to raise a little money. And I went to meet that pharmacy man, and I went to meet him to tell him that I want to start up. I want to come to his shop to start learning how to sell drugs, how to, prescribe and all of that, for him to just teach me. So he accepted and gave me his conditions, agreement that was printed. I went home, read it, and I saw that I needed a sponsor, somebody that would sign guarantee for me or something like that. Like all those things that they used to sign now, you need to bring somebody that will surety you and all of that. So that was where it choked. He said the person that will surety me will need to have a landed property, a job, a job that they know that when I steal anything or anything happens, they need to hold that person responsible. I thought of who to call. Nobody. Is it my mom that will come and call? That is the farmer that will come and call? Is it that my friend that is doing salon that will come and call? So I discussed with that my friend anyways, and I told her this is what the man is demanding. She said, okay, fine, let me talk to my brother and see if my brother will help you out, because the brother owns a good business as at that time. So she was working on talking with the brother, and then again, you guys, I reconnected with my husband. Yeah, this is my husband that you people are seeing. He came back to Nigeria and looks for me. Hey, it was like a dream come true. It was like a dream come true, you guys. This man came looking for me, and that was how we reconnected. He signed that surety for me, even paid the money I was supposed to pay. I think it was 100,000 then. He paid everything, and trust me, that was when I fell yakata. Finally, I fell. So we started dating, going to church together, doing stuff together and all of that. And in that pharmacy where I was learning that medicine, because I go there every day and I took it very serious. Every day I must go, every day I must go. That was when I met NJ, you guys. And when I met NJ, we already shared the story of how we met. You can catch up with that on my channel. The story is also down there. I may not be able to start analyzing how everything went, but the story is down there. Please, you guys, you can catch up with it, because if I start analyzing how everything started, it may take time. She was also in that pharmacy, right? Where we both met in that pharmacy. Like, the pharmacy was owned by a neutral person, right? So gradually we started talking, and before you know it, we clicked and we became very close friends. So if you want to know how we clicked and how we became very close friends, please catch up with the video. I'm going to link it like below, please. So I was still doing that my Food for All Nation business that Mercy Carlo introduced me into. I even registered NJ in the business, right? I converted, like I brought her into the business. We were doing the business. She joined my team. One day, Mercy Carlo called me and was like, Sandra, you can actually be a team leader instead of just referring people into my own team. I told her, Mama, because that's what I call her. I call her Mama. I don't call her her name. I don't call her Mercy, because the role that lady played in my life, she deserved that respect of Mama. So I call her Mama. I was like, Mama, how can I do it? Like, all these things you're doing, do registration and all of that, how am I going to do it? She said, don't worry, I'm going to carry you along. And gradually, before you know it, OGOM'S series, you guys know OGOM'S series. OGOM'S series was in her team, and she was, you guys know her, that she's active on anything she's doing. Just use her consistency on YouTube and to compare. She's always active in everything she's doing. So she was one of the most active in that group, that WhatsApp group that they added all of us. I picked up the idea of what Mercy Carlo told me, and I decided to become a team leader. Okay, I found it difficult at first, so I thought about who to reach out to, because Mercy, she's always busy. Imagine somebody that is controlling a team of over 5,000 people. Like, she's always busy. If you send that message, before she will even reach your turn to respond to you, sometimes it takes days. So I decided to reach out to OGOM'S series, and that was how I reached out to her. And this babe taught me how to do registration, everything. Like, we just connected. Me and OGOM, we just connected in that. Like, we just connected. Although we have been in that group together, we chat once in a while, but we didn't connect as much as we connected after I reached out to her for that help. She taught me how to do everything with her whole heart, because she was also a team leader as at that time. So that was how I started driving the business. I raised a team of close to over 800 members, right, in my own team, and I was doing so well. I became a team leader. The name of my team is Team Sussex Sandy. I was holding seminars in Nnewi, Oka, Onitsha. I was just hosting seminars, like pay for hotel halls, because I started making cool money from that network marketing company. I made money, right? But all of a sudden, trust me, you guys, the owner of the company, because I was close to the woman, you can see we even took pictures together. I will try and attach as much as I can. So the owner of the company, I mean the woman that owns the company, introduced greed into the business. Let me not lie, she started being greedy. She increased the price of pins and everything. We, the team leaders, we call down, we are like, this is a new company, you're less than few months, you're just few months old, and so far you're doing well. Even if the company is not making so much now, I believe you just have to allow the business to stand first before you now increase price of pins that we were using for registration and all of that. She refused, and increase in that pin and everything led to the closure of that company. That was how everybody lost. Me, I lost close to $1 million in that, because I was reinvesting. If I make money, I'll remove the one I will use and reinvest. I was busy pushing my team with everything in me. According to what Mercy taught me, she said, Sandra, don't spend all your money. Keep on reinvesting so that you grow in stages. And that was how that one closed down. And the next thing, Mercy also carried me along when she joined Long Reach in 2018. And when she wanted to join, she told me, Sandra, let me register you as a VIP member. In Long Reach, if you know Long Reach very well, for you to register as a VIP member in Long Reach, it costs 750,000 for you to, then, I think now it's over ₦1 million for you to register as a VIP member. So she told me that I need to register as a VIP member and register my children too. I told her, Mama, I can only register as a VIP member with the savings I have, but I will not be able to register as my children as VIPs, so please pardon me. So she now said, okay, fine, register as a VIP, but still register your children under your legs, so that whatever you're doing, your children will be your very first 3 legs. Then I was already close with my husband, so I discussed with him, I mean Mr. Bright. I discussed with him, and he was like, wow, that's a nice idea. It's a good business. I would like us to go into the business. He researched about it, and guess what this man did? This thing is happening in 2018, and by then he has already left Nnewi. His job took him to Rivers. He was playing Rivers United then, I think so. And that was how this man sent me like a huge amount of money to register both himself, my children, and every other person, other multiple accounts under my account, and his own family members, like his sister and the rest of them. Okay, I registered all of them under my team, and that was how we started pushing the business. And I started marketing Longreach products. Who does not know me in Nnewi with Longreach products? They call me Sandra Longreach. All those pharmacies along teaching hospital, I'm the one supplying all of them Longreach toothpaste. Even individuals, the one they use in their house, I marketed Longreach product like say tomorrow no day. I was consistent, and God helped me. I began to qualify for awards. I qualified for a trip to Malaysia and I monetized it. I qualified for a car in 2019 and I monetized it. I started, receiving awards. I ranked up Diamond 4, Diamond 5, down to Diamond 6. So the business, like Longreach business, was actually what favored me and what, how will I put it now, helped my life so much, to the point that my children had to change their school. I put them into a better private school. Like, I put them into a better school from the one they were going to private school. I was able to move them from the one they were going to a private school, and that was how my life transformed all of a sudden. Okay, my life started taking a new turn. Okay, I still didn't forget the fact that I needed to reach out to widows. I was still doing, because I already have this passion to reach out because of what I went through. What I'm telling you guys is just a tip of an iceberg of what I went through. This is, say, 5 years of my life or 4 years of my life in just a 1-hour video, right? So that being said, all of a sudden, Longreach increased their price of products. If you're a Longreach member, it's online. If you're a Longreach member or you want to get the information, you can browse it. Which year did Longreach increase their price of products? They increased the price of product and the business became very slow. The registration amount went up. If you know Longreach, about Longreach, you will know that you register with, like, you register when you buy products. So when the price of products went up, it affected registration, right? Because the price of the products went up. If it's a product you usually buy with 10,000, 15,000, you now buy it with maybe 20, 25,000. So it affected the registration. And that was how the business became slow. And then my husband proposed. He proposed to me first time ever in 2019. Trust me, you guys. And I told him, man, I'm not ready now to settle down. I need to establish myself. And while I was doing all this in Longreach, I was still in that pharmacy working and learning, because I paid for a period of 1 year. I was still in that pharmacy working and learning, okay? And as God may have it, I graduated from that pharmacy like very well. I was able to learn everything that it taught me, and I graduated very well. So when I graduated, I decided, since there are a lot of pharmacies in like Nnewi, I don't want to start up my business in Nnewi there. I needed to move out of Nnewi to start up my business. So, which I equally discussed with my friend NJ. So then I was already very close with NJ. So I discussed with her that I needed to move out of Nnewi then. So I had to move out of Nnewi. When my rent expired, I moved out of Nnewi. I didn't bother renewing the rent, moved my properties down to my family house. And luckily for me, I was at my family house and started planning on when next to move, to relocate to. I had Oka in mind, which I discussed with my husband, and he agreed and said, just get a house and I'm going to pay. If you get the house, I'll pay and furnish it the little way I know I can, okay? So cutting the long story short, luckily for me, I was able to get this, my house in Oka here. And when all these things were happening, I think I also lost contact with NJ partially. I can't remember what happened. She traveled, right, and came back, and then came to visit my children. Bought them beautiful gifts. Their very first iPad, like, is it iPad that they call it? All this children's phone was gifted to them by NJ. She came to my family house, gifted me a phone, right? And that was the second time she was actually gifting me a phone, you guys. Because she gifted me one phone when we were at the pharmacy. And then again, she gifted me another one when she came back from her trip, okay? So later she went back to her place, and continued with her own life. Me too, I continued with my own life at my family house because I had plan of getting a house. Although we talk, we chat, and we discuss, but I wasn't going to Nnewi that often again because I was no longer working there. My boss was no longer there. Nothing was taking me to Nnewi that often again, unless maybe when NJ invites me over for maybe an event or maybe for weekend, I'll just go, right? So luckily for me, I got this house at Oka and contacted my husband. Although it was not easy, I had Enugu and Oka in mind, but because in Enugu people were telling me, the research I did, people were telling me that water is always the problem there. I don't know if it's true or a lie, but you know, up to 2 or 3 people told me the same thing. And again, I considered the distance because of my children, because my mom said I can only release the children for you unless you get married. That was what my mom said. So I was begging her, release my children to me. Even she doesn't even when I was living in Nnewi, she hardly allows them to visit me, right? I remember the very first time that my children visited me at Nnewi. You guys, they were so excited. I think I will attach a picture of that very day. My sister Jenny's lifestyle, my children visited my house in Nnewi. They were so excited. My mom gave me condition. They must not sleep there. They have to come back. She was so obsessed with these children. So when I got this house in Oka, I called my husband. I've gotten a place I want, like somewhere I like. This man paid, furnished the house. Trust me, you guys. He actually furnished the house. Okay? And before you know it, COVID set in. In that 2020, I was the very first person that moved to my house. I moved in there alone. And there is this Long Beach office in Oka here where I was their product analyst. I was the one doing the seminar. I was the one doing every single thing they are doing in that office, right? And the woman in that office took me like her own sister. She carried me along in every single thing, okay? And we're building and pushing the business gradually. And before you know it, COVID started. That was when I had to beg my mom that I cannot be staying in this house alone. I don't go out again, because you guys know how COVID was then in Nigeria. You don't shake somebody. You don't even hug, nothing. Distance greeting. So I had to beg my mom that, please, I need you to release my children to me. Please, release my children for me. Pardon me, you guys. I forgot to tell you guys that in that same 2019 was the very first time that my husband visited my family house. That same 2019 that he was to, you know, give me money to pay for an apartment here in Oka. That was when he visited my family house for the very first time with his friend, okay? The very first time he visited with his friend, and before you know it, gradually, everybody started liking him, because my own happiness and that of my children was his topmost priority. I didn't see, like, it's rare. Not like there are no men like that. There are many men out there like that. And that's one of the reasons why I'm sharing this video, so that if a single mother, a widow, and you're watching this video, please pick up your broken pieces. There is light at the end of the tunnel, trust me. So that was how I was able to navigate the whole widowhood issue. COVID set in. I begged my mom to release my children to me, which she did, and my children joined me in Oka. Then one beautiful day, NJ visited us, okay? And before you know it, we reconnected, became closer than we used to be, okay? And one thing led to the other. She invited me over to Nnewi. Like, this is my YouTube. I didn't plan to start YouTube. All my mind was that Long Reach. And she was like, Sandra, you need to start it. She was actually the one that convinced me, by fire, by force, to start up my YouTube channel. And I remember then that we had one misunderstanding there. I almost closed down my YouTube channel, you guys. I was like, there's no way, I'm not doing it again. I didn't know much about YouTube. I almost closed my YouTube channel, okay? And I remember how Nazom, you know, calmed me down and talked to me and all of that. NJ too talked to me and all of that, and everything calmed down. And that was how I joined YouTube, started doing YouTube. You guys started seeing us, and when I started my channel, NJ played a very, very vital role. Like, my first 4 videos, right? She edited my first 4 videos. She always makes sure that she would give me video ideas of what to film and all of that. And trust me, you guys, that was how I came on board the street of YouTube and met all of you guys that I can't live my life now without, you know, sharing with you people. So that was how I was able to navigate through the whole widowhood journey, the businesses I did, how I was able to navigate every single thing. And before you know it, my marriage happened, and now we are expecting a baby. Is God not too faithful? Like you guys, God is just too faithful. This is my testimony. It's a testimony. I'm sharing it because I know that this story is going to encourage a lot of women out there. When I was coming to YouTube, I wasn't coming to YouTube because I was coming for people to start giving me money. But trust me, when I started my channel, the kind of love I received on the street of YouTube, I have never received it all my life. When I was sharing my story, I refused to share my widowhood story from the onset. Like, people that were close to me then will attest to it. I refused. I was actually like, it was actually by fire, by force that I had to share. Angel was giving me video ideas, Sandra, share it, share your story. I know, I even said it in my very first video that I was sharing my story, you know, to encourage people out there. Because I remember when, in my early days in widowhood, I was not able to feed once a day. Yes, there were days like that for me and my children. I remember I said it in that very first video, okay? And then I moved from feeding up to 3 times in a day and even having so much to give people. Because when I joined Long Reach and started making money in Long Reach, like when I made my first million in Long Reach, trust me, you guys, I had to reach out to widows. That year, I celebrated my birthday, going to motherless babies' home, reaching out to widows. I wasn't recording because I didn't have need for all those things, okay? Some of them, although I recorded some of them, right, which I'm going to be attaching the pictures and the clips on the screen if I find any, right? So trust me, if you're passing through anything, like if you're down now, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Let my life, me, Sandra, serve to you as a testimony that God works in mysterious ways. And if you have a man in your life, as a young widow, you have a man in your life, and maybe the person loves your children. If you're sure that this person loves your children, and you know you're trying to study the person, it took me 6 whole years, I know. Please, it can actually take you more than that, provided you are sure. Because if you're a woman, a widow, and you want to remarry, your topmost priority should be your children's happiness. I'm telling you the truth. Once this person loves your children, it doesn't matter what else that is happening. Both of you can build together, okay? My husband was doing well as at when I met him, but he's doing better now. That's the truth. Because both of us now teamed up together and we are driving everything. The Bible said that 2 cannot walk except they agree. And then again, 2 heads are better than 1, okay? So a lot of things happened in my life that I am even yet to share here on YouTube. And then my very first car that you guys saw me driving, it was actually my husband that bought that car for me. As in, so this man actually, like, he did everything possible to make sure I was happy, I was comfortable, I was everything, okay? Like, everything was fine with me. He actually trades his own happiness to see that I am happy. Even when I was telling him that it's not yet time for us to do this, it's not yet time for us to get this man did everything possible, okay, to make sure that I was okay. This is a part of my life that I never shared on YouTube, okay? And I thought it's wise for me to come out and share with you guys, especially just to encourage someone out there that is passing through similar things, or maybe someone out there that is finding it difficult to take a decision or something. So this is why I am sharing this story with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. I don't know, a lot of things are still coming into my head that I needed to share, but let's end it here. Maybe if I remember anyone in one of my next story time, because I still have so many story times that I need to bring to you guys, I'm also going to be sharing it with you guys. So thank you so much, you guys, for watching. Let's talk in the comment section. What do you like? How do you feel about this whole story that I've shared? So please do not forget to like, comment, share. I'm begging you, please. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Biko. If you're watching up to this time, if you've been following me, watching my videos, what is stopping you from subscribing? Please, I'm begging you. Subscribe to my channel, and I'm going to see you guys in my next video. Bye.